What if I told you there's a way to transform your home theater experience with just one click and in under a minute? This is Obsessive Compulsive Audiophile, and I'm thrilled to introduce A1 Evo, a game-changing, free and open-source tool that's platform and installation-free, delivering revolutionary room and speaker correction for home cinema optimization. Built upon the foundations of its highly acclaimed predecessor, Odyssey One, A1 Evo will take your audio experience to the next level. Whether you're watching a blockbuster movie, streaming your favorite series, or playing the latest video game, A1 Evo ensures immersive, crystal clear sound that puts you right in the middle of the action. Packed with cutting-edge algorithms and processing techniques, A1 Evo analyzes your room's acoustic characteristics and optimizes your speaker setup, enhancing the performance of your Odyssey Multi-EQ room correction system to deliver unmatched sonic clarity and precision. If you thought Odyssey One was revolutionary, wait until you hear what A1 Evo can do. I want to take this opportunity to thank the thousands of Odyssey One users and channel subscribers for their invaluable support and feedback through video comments, super thanks, dedicated Facebook groups, forum threads, and more. Your appreciation, feedback, and demands have shaped A1 Evo into what it has become today. A1 Evo retains the core strengths of Odyssey One, but does everything that little bit better and with even more precision. It also incorporates features Odyssey One users have long been clamoring for, including multiple subwoofer EQ option with removed surround boost, complete resolution of Odyssey's 6-meter speaker delay limit, new and improved target curve and custom target curve support, adjustable filtering frequency range and filter boost amount. Now if you're ready to elevate your audio experience to new heights, let's walk through the very simple setup process. To download the script, you have to go to the video description. You will find a link there. Click on the link. This is the script, but you don't need to see the details of it. Just go to download and download it wherever you like. It's an HTML file because it's already downloaded. In my computer, it gives it a weird name. And once it's downloaded, you just click on it and it works in your web browser, whatever you're using, Chrome, Safari, or Firefox. That's it, it's now working. It started, and now we can close the download link and the video. And at that stage, the second thing you need is Room EQ Wizard. It's a free tool. I have added links here for Windows and Mac for REW Beta 30, which works with this script, but because it's a beta program, it might change in the future. The script might become unable to work. For that reason, I've been keeping these two files on my own Google Drive, but normally to download REW, you go to REW website, AV Nirvana website. This is where REW is hosted, and here you will find the latest beta versions for Room EQ Wizard for Windows 32 and 64 bits, Mac OS, Linux AMD 64, and Linux no Java runtime. In the future, when everything is finalized, the script will be finalized as well, so this is going to be your download link. But for the time being, you can use these links here. Now let's download REW to my downloads folder. I will install it from scratch so that you can see everything in action, how you have to do it. The downloaded REW, now we click run and it's installing. It takes a couple of minutes at most. You can close this. Accept the agreement. 3 gigabytes, as high as your PC is capable of. We need memory. Allow multiple instances of REW. This is irrelevant for the script, but I use it in general. You're free to tick it or not. Use hardware graphics acceleration. This is useful. Create desktop icon and it's finished. And run REW. The very first time it's installed, this manual comes. It's very useful if you want to learn how to use REW. Don't show welcome message again. And it's donationware, so don't forget to donate. It's the best DSP tool and it comes for free. Now, all the settings you will ever need. Go to Preferences, View, and here you will see maximum measurements 30. Make it 300. This will require a restart, as REW is already reporting. Then go to Equalizer And untick drop filters if gain is small, because the new script is using REW's auto EQ filters, and when you untick this, you have more precise filters. And the last thing you have to do is go to API tab, Application Programming Interface, and start server. Now API server is running on port 4735. Don't change this port. If you change, you have to also change it in the script. It runs locally for now, as it's still a beta, and this is how the script talks to REW. That's all. Now, because we changed the number of measurements, I have to restart REW, so I close it, and I have a shortcut here, and I restart it. And of course, every time I restart, I have to go to API tab and start the server. I didn't have to. This is a trick. It's a bit advanced, but on the Rev shortcut, if you go to properties, this is the normal REW shortcut in your PC. C drive program files REW.exe. If you add, for example, -J and then XMX8192M, this increases the RAM memory REW uses to 8 gigabits. You make this 4196, it will have 4 gigabits. This is for memory, you don't need all that, but if you also add -API, then every time you click this shortcut, Rev automatically starts with API server started. So this is why my REW starts with 8 gigabytes of RAM and API server already running. Now once you have REW open, you go to your script, put them side by side for visual purposes. You have to have a multi-EQ editor app on your iPhone or Android phone, which you can buy from the App Store for $20. It's quite a useful tool maintained by Sound United, Denon and Marantz since many years. It does what the setup menu in your receiver does, but it can save several calibrations and measurements. You can also do customizations that you can't do with the receiver itself. Once you have an Odyssey measurement taken in various microphone positions, and Odyssey allows a minimum of 3 measurements and maximum of 8, it will save an ADY file standing for Odyssey .ADY extension. You need to transfer this saved file from your phone to your PC. You can use any cloud drive for that. I use WhatsApp Web. Once it's saved on your PC, here you click upload calibration, and wherever you have saved it on your PC, you just select it, this one. And once you select it, as you see, it said Odyssey calibration original ADY has been uploaded. Speed of sound setting has been automatically adjusted for your Marantz SR6015 at 300 meters per second. Older models have different speed of sound setting. This is all handled now in the script thanks to a channel member who extracted from the editor app itself the full list of receivers with speed of sound settings. So you don't need to do anything about it with A1 Evo. And then it read all the uploaded measurements in the calibration file, and it zipped them, and it's asking us to save the zip file, which is here. Save it to wherever you like. I have already saved all those, and you have to click allow here because it also wants now to download the target curve file, and multiple file download requires user approval. When I allow now, target curve also is here. Its name is Target Curve OCA, but because it's already saved in my PC, it gives it an extension. I called this Target Curve OCA because it's a bit different, a bit more bass heavy than the Odyssey One curve. And also, Dr. Tool himself asked me not to call any target curve by his name because he doesn't have one, apparently. So save it. Now, the zip file is here wherever you save it. You just click it once. You don't need to extract it. It will show the content of the zip file here. You have to select all these measurements. You don't need to know this, but this is center speaker at the central mic position. This is the first measurement. This is front height left speaker at the first mic position. And there are 7 other positions. So this ADY has 8 microphone positions with center speaker, front height left, front height right, front left, front right, surround back left, surround back right, etc. And this is the subwoofer. To select all of them, you press in on Windows PCs Ctrl+A, and with MacBooks you do Command+A, I guess. Then Left click with your mouse anywhere on selected measurements and move your mouse without releasing the left mouse. As you can see, 96 measurements are now being moved around with my mouse, and drop them, release the click button anywhere on REW. And that's it. First time you import measurements and REW is just installed, you will see this warning. It's telling you that it's not going to apply calibration file to the imported measurements. So we no longer need to delete microphone calibration files after a REW update. So you can just import them. You don't have to do anything in REW other than the 3 changes I have shown you. Say OK to that, and all measurements are, as you see, being imported. When you see the graph here, it means all measurements are finally imported. Before that, it will be an empty screen. Let me show you again. Remove all, hold them, and drop them. Look, it's still coming. There is nothing here, nothing. And now it's finished. Okay, you can close the zip file, and this is it. You can now just click optimize calibration, and in just over a minute probably it will be finished, and you will have the optimized calibration file which you can transfer back to your receiver and start enjoying your new sound. Before you click this button though, some precautions prior to executing the script. First, you have to upload the target curve you saved on your computer. Here you click EQ and go to target settings, and here house curve, click this button which will browse in your computer and go wherever you saved the target curve. Here, target curve OCA. At this stage actually you can upload any target curve you want. A1 Evo will work perfectly with any curve, but I suggest you use this one. The script will only look for the presence of a target curve here. It is not gonna distinguish between different curves. And that's all. Don't keep REW in All SPL tab, because as you see in All SPL, it draws every single measurement. There are about 96 of them just with this calibration file. During calculations, if it has to draw everything again and again, it slows it down. So keep it in SPL and Phase tab. Here, it only shows one measurement at a time, as you see. And even a better way is to save the original measurements somewhere in your computer. Call this, for example, 0, and save it. So you don't have to unzip files and import them every time. You can just open the saved measurements. You can rerun the calibration. For example, if I say upload calibration again now and pick this one. Sorry, reload is the way to rerun the script, and upload calibration, original. Now, when it asks you to save the zip file, you can just cancel it. You have to say LO here, otherwise it's not gonna save the optimized ADY files at the end of the script. And you can also cancel this. As long as you have the measurements here and uploaded the right ADY file, it is ready to start optimization. And it already prompts here that it's ready. Let's click optimize calibration and start. It's moving the subwoofer to the end. Now it's calculating excess phase of every single measurement to align them with cross correlation. This is a highly precise way, and actually the only optimal way, and it's different from Odyssey 1 in this one. A lot of measurements, because of high reflections, like reflections stronger than the direct sound itself in the impulse, was confusing cross correlation and ruining the average for that speaker. This method completely removes that problem. You don't need to read anything other than the red warnings here. Blues are important, but even those you don't need to read if you're not interested in DSP or what your system is doing. But if it's red, you really have to read it. So here it's telling you that active target curve is target curve OCA, and the system is standard base mode with 2 subwoofers. Now calculate computing optimal spatial averaging configuration for speakers 1 to 12. This script takes a bit longer than Odyssey 1, especially when there is directional base mode with lots of subwoofers, because it does a lot more to calculate. Already found out all the volume alignment is also done in a different way, more precise. All crossovers are calculated with high precision and according to their roll-off curves, so they should not be changed. Keep those roll-off frequencies as they are because it's imitating exactly what is done in the receiver, and it's finished. Here, if you have to change your subwoofer polarity, it's gonna warn you in red. It came in blue because you don't have to. And when it says change subwoofer polarity, you have to physically do it. It's very easy to invert polarities of subwoofers. It's usually just a flip of a switch, and it already compensates for that, so you don't have to remeasure after flipping your subwoofer polarities or polarity for multiple subwoofers. The optimized file will be working with the flipped versions of the subwoofers. So it's important if you see a flipping report prompt here. And it finished in almost 2 minutes. Because I have already saved this, this is coming, normal extension is this. A1 Evolved, ADY, and here's the surprise. Right after that, there comes another one, original A1 Evolved DEQ0dB. This is dynamic EQ added on the calibration file. So it saves 2 calibration files, one with dynamic EQ on, one with off, and at 75 dB Odyssey measured level, both sound identical. The curves are identical. This includes surround, boost, and whatnot. So you have with dynamic EQ on a perfect calibration at 75 dB. At lower volumes, dynamic EQ will boost the low frequencies and high frequencies, so you will hear everything better, low volume listening. And the higher you go up the volume, the less they will be boosted. And there will not be extra 6 dB surround boost or extra 4.5 dB height speaker boost. Having said that, I couldn't find information on Aura channels like the GOT channel and center height channel or front wide speakers, Atmos channels, the exact dynamic EQ boost for them. They are being adjusted similar to height speakers. In time, with feedback from subscribers, I guess we will adjust it if there is anything wrong in their volume level. I mean, personally, in an object-based sound system like Dolby Atmos, I find dynamic EQ and different volume adjustments to different channels a bit suboptimal, but in low volume listening, there is no substitute for dynamic EQ. So if you're just an enthusiast who just wants the better calibration in a system, that's all. The saved files you have to send back to your MultiQ editor app on your phone. So send these back to your phones in some way, the way you transferred them to your PC. Do the reverse, either Cloud Drive or WhatsApp Web or whatever your preferred method is. And once you have them in MultiQ Editor app, just transfer them to your receiver as you normally would after an Odyssey calibration without changing anything in them. Even dynamic EQ is embedded in these. You don't have to do anything. And they will only work in reference mode, which is the default mode in Odyssey. If you switch to flat mode, the filters will be disabled. It comes with a version number now for every new version here, so no longer confusion about updates. And I didn't add the log saver in this one. Odyssey One is doing it at the end because for some MacBooks with Safari browsers, if you have multiple files to save, it somehow hides the ADY file while saving the log. But it's very easy to save the log if you really want to save this. You just right click inside it and save as, and it will save it as an HTML file wherever you want in your computer, and you can access this, the whole data here, anytime you want. That's it for the regular enthusiast, but if you're a DSP freak and want to know what is new in this script and what it is really doing, let me show you a little bit of it without going into too much technical detail. Here is the script. This is Sublime Text. It's a free text editor. It's a notepad, but just colorful, and it can do the indentation and whatnot, so it's useful. If you really want to edit the code or read it properly, I suggest you use this one. But you can even read everything in it in Notepad. HTML file is very easy to open. If you double click it, it will open in your web browser. In your web browser, if you right click here and view page source, it's gonna show you all the code. Back to the script. The first surprise is at line 225 here, and this is symbolic because the correction is done up to 225 Hertz. This is end frequency. And in A1 Evo, this is a variable. You can change it here to whatever you want. You can make it 20,000, so it's gonna have full range correction as some of you desperately want. I just added this so that you can hear yourself that you're just gonna ruin the sound. Also, you can adjust the boost. Very flexible. Once you do that, you just save it again, and that's it. And maximum boost, normally A1 Evo doesn't boost filters, it only cuts the peaks, but here you can, I think, up to 12 or 18 in dB add boost. Like this one will boost dips by 3 dB, which will also ruin your sound, but you're free to try with this one. About the precision for subwoofer alignment and time alignment, let me show you, for example, one. Here the 6 meter limit is used as 6.00499999 because this is still being rolled to 600, not 601. So it keeps it in the limit, but in milliseconds, which is what the alignment tool in REW uses, this difference is added. An alignment tool now can align within a given range. You have to thank John. I think he completely rewrote alignment tool just for Odyssey users to beat the 6 meter limit. And it does. I mean, it will find a way to align your subwoofers no matter what. Actually, let's go to a multiple subwoofer directional mode one. To rerun it, you just reload and now upload another calibration. Let's go to directional ones and 4 subs. I have to say this. Hello. You don't need to say it. This is still here, yes. So the zip file is here, one click, Control A, and drop. Actually, this is a short one, good. And optimize calibration. Directional bass mode with 4 subwoofers detected. Only 3 mic positions, so this is not gonna last too long. Your lucky day. You can temporarily see here that excess phases are being calculated for every position of every speaker. If you try to align your system manually that way, it will take you 1 week to do the same operations. Well, decent measurements. This guy doesn't have too many reflections in the room, not much gain. And it's not gonna ask you for a distance entry if no distance is found. Distances are completely arbitrary in this one. It only works on millisecond time difference. Your system will now be converted to standard bass mode for a better sound experience. This might take a while. Matching subwoofer volumes. 4 subwoofers, it adjusted their volumes individually, and now it's doing an MSO thing over the subwoofers, calculating every single configuration within the Odyssey time limits and measuring the best combination. A lot of these methods didn't exist. I had to make a lot of research, but I found the optimal ones. Very confident about now in this procedure, but it took me 3 months, as you have been waiting. Now it's calculating excess phase of every single configuration, and it picked 48. This configuration 2301 with 19 degrees of excess phase, and it's already converted to standard bass mode now. Volume levels of speakers. A subwoofer volume adjustment is also done in Dolby Standard. And here it comes. It took 157 seconds, this one. Forward subs directional A1 Evolved, save, and with the EQ, save. It's that simple. I think that's it. Don't forget to subscribe the channel for not missing out on the updates, bug fixes, and in the comments there is solutions for almost everything. I try to reply every single question, which I'm gonna be selective in the future because I figured 15,000 people downloaded A1 and only 1/3 of them are subscribers. I'm thinking of replying, because it's almost impossible now to really reply every question. I'm thinking of replying only subscribers' questions in the future. Enjoy your script and bye for now.